This is a adult podcast discussing mature topics, and it is also an Australian podcast discussing Australian topics. November 5th, 1999, 7 p.m. The sun is down. The air is warm. The ocean breeze and the tide are carrying you quietly the last few dozen meters. The engine on your Zodiac off. The boat slides silently onto the beach. Without GPS, you're not exactly sure where you are, but this is the only light source and visible fires. As you land, you realize you are not exactly where you were meant to be, but you're probably close. A football field away, you can see that there is the light source that has drawn you to this place, which appears to be the smoldering remains of a beach house. There is also a large tropical stilted house that looks like it's probably big enough to hold 3 bedrooms, and a smaller house, not on stilts, which is right against the local soil. There are 2 individuals, one man and one woman, patrolling the local area. They do not appear to have any sort of military affiliation. One of them has a pistol in their hand, the one that is closest to you, perhaps 100 meters away. It's hard to see what they're doing with it, but they appear to be shouting and yelling southernly from you and waving the pistol sort of dangerously in the air with their finger inside the trigger guard. The other guard appears to be by the smaller 1 bedroom, pretty nice tropical beach house that has a sign on the side of it in French. You're way too far away to read it without binoculars. You do see that there are 2 sets of bicycles there, racing bicycles, French racing bicycles that look like they're in pretty nice condition. There's a scattering of trees in the nearby area, but other than that, this open beach is all that separates you and these 2 individuals who have yet to notice your presence. The I forget how many thousands of pounds, how many kilograms is in this boat that you stuffed right here? You can't see it, audience. They're smiling, and some of them are nodding slightly. It's a lot, right? You stuffed this thing with a lot of weight.
No, I'm full murder, but I carry everything I own. So
Yeah. I'm not overly stuffed with gear. Probably 60 kilos.
Yeah, two good sized duffel bags.
Okay.
So, all right. Well,
Quick question, sorry. Were we piloting the Zodiac in, or was there someone who's going to take the
You
Zodiac
brought the
back?
Zodiac in.
So we've got to hide the Zodiac. Okay.
yeah, I'll pull out my binos and I'm just gonna scan the area in front, and I'll make sure I'm clear to access my pistol if I need to. And I'll speak to the other 2 and be like, look for a seat, up and down the beach, look for somewhere to stash this.
It's a pretty sparse beach.
is this location secure? Or is it indicate towards the kerfuffle going on up the beach?
I was like, we'll work that out in a minute. Let me see what I can find. Let me see what I can see.
Main thing is make sure they haven't seen us.
Hence why I'm cleared to access.
I would like you to, make a recon check.
Sure. So binoculars gives a +2 to recon. Is that correct?
Yes, and you are scouting or observing.
Yep. All right. So recon modifier +2.
1 success.
All right.
Okay. You are raising your binoculars. You can barely see the guards on 1 success. There is a torchlight on at this particular location, the larger beach house that is on stilts. You can see that the underneath it is meant to be like a garage where you park your vehicles and then you go up, and it's like a party house weekend thing. You notice the sign on the farther away location says Gite Holomene, which you would know is just a few kilometers north of the way that you were supposed to land. So you're less than 4 kilometers from the beach you were supposed to land on, which is pretty good for no GPS crossing several, dozen kilometers of land in an unknown location at night with no navigational aids. The burning wreckage looks like a house fire of a similar sort of beach resort, tropical house situation. But you're noticing with one recon success that there are bloodstains on what passes for a driveway and what look to be drag marks of people who have been shot and then were dragged and thrown into the fire.
Okay.
Okay, this is not a good sign for the
No.
stability
Nope.
of the nation.
One of the people that you see, so both the people that you see have armbands, but because they are black and you only have one success, you can't read what's on the armband at night without some sort of like night vision or something. You do notice a little bit of like blood on the hand of the closer of the two guards, who is wielding some sort of strange, maybe Russian or Chinese made pistol around.
Okay. So I'm going to swing my bino up and down the coast and just see if there's any, like, have we got any, like, can we just get back in this boat and just hand paddle our way, you know, north or south to get away from this rather than having to get involved in it?
You think
Or
so, but navigating in a boat at night on uncertain shores will also take a roll.
yeah.
Quick question. I have a tactician specialty.
Okay.
When you spot an enemy force is the caveat for using it. Would these guys be an enemy force?
I will
I
accept
would-
that as an unknown force for now. We'll call it enemy, sure.
Okay. In that case, I get to roll a command check.
Okay.
If I succeed, you must tell me something useful about their current organization and objectives.
Very well.
I'm
So
just
I'll
gonna-
give, I would have given that description to them and given them allegiance unknown but deadly.
Okay. Nah, no
Ooh.
successes.
Would you like to push?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, I don't know what's going on at the moment.
Your scout trooper gives you some reports and you're just like, I don't know, mate.
Yeah.
We just got here.
How
Yeah.
long is this beach?
You think it probably goes on for kilometers in either direction.
Okay.
If you mean how deep in does it go?
No. I mean, like to because obviously most beaches end at rocks where a
Yes,
seawall comes
so-
up. So
North of you and
yeah,
east inward, there will be rocks, but southernly, this beach is going to go on for quite some time, farther than you can see at night.
yeah, okay. So it's. I mean, I was just thinking about if we were to try and move the boat somewhere up and stash it, like probably
Yeah.
if there's insufficient scrub, at the other end of the beach, then we need to take it to like an inlet or something and try and just park it in the water there and hope no fishermen see it during the daytime.
Now, look, I would like to ask that all of you describe your characters now, because I want to imagine. Again, I watch way too much military media. I just want to imagine that it's you guys like laying on the beach with binoculars and like one person is up on their knee and like pointing at people while you're all whispering to each other. But just give us the introduction cinematic description of your character. Assumably, people will be able to see it on screen about now. But just in case I haven't achieved that level of technology correctly, how would you say your characters look for the audience?
I'd say certainly, like not knowing what the environment was coming in here, that I would have sort of come along dressed for infiltration. So, like BDU's combat fatigues with a plate carrier and helmet and like a slung firearm. Yeah, while we've certainly got civilian clothes, I don't think that landing at night time in civilian clothes in a military zodiac was probably going to be the right thing to do. So, yeah,
Wouldn't
I
be that
certainly-
convincing.
Yeah, but I think that given it's nighttime and we're not creating a light source and we have NVGs as necessary, we're probably not well, I'm not certainly down in like a crouch low ready. I think it's more sort of standing there quietly talking about what to do next.
Yeah. Taking a knee so you're not skylining yourself on the water.
Yeah.
No, I would take same, although I probably wouldn't have my plate carrier on just from fear of drowning in it. So
Kevlar's buoyant.
yeah, it's all the other things strapped to it, James. That's the issue. So I'd probably just have my flak jacket on. I would have been ready with the AR laid down, ready to go. So the M4 laid down, ready to go. Now they've done the sweep. I'd turn back to the crew and be like, are we going to go hard or soft? Because either way, we're going to be pulling triggers.
Yeah. My guys kneeled down sort of with you all. Same sort of thing, dressed up in the fatigues and the gear. You know, takes his helmet off because he's already sweating.
And we've got to see the face of all our characters.
Of course you. So of course, even though you'd normally never take your helmet
Yeah,
off.
the
Yeah.
Warhammer
ever.
40K, you got to Space
Yeah, no,
Marines all take their helmets
Yeah,
off.
we've
Yeah.
identified the Space Wolf in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and conveniently it goes on just before ricochet comes off your helmet.
Yeah.
Or if you have to ride a motorcycle.
No one wears a helmet when they're riding a motorcycle in the
All
movies.
actors wear helmets while riding motorcycles, so their stunt doubles can actually do the driving.
Do all the work.
Yep.
I think we need to get closer and ascertain who these people are. And then if we need to neutralize them, it's easier to neutralize them now.
All right, I'm like, you guys want to go up the guts, and I'll swing left.
Okay. Keep
All right.
low. We'll move quick.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned
right.
what we're going to do about this Zodiac.
We'll just
We just pulled onto the shore
Spike it.
so we can do it in a second. Yeah, because I was thinking if we can't hide it, we scuttle it. But
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
all right. I'll throw my plate carrier on, which has got my extra ammo all laid up on it, and an extra round for my 40 mic and one of each of my grenades, and I'm going to start swinging south so I can get into an enfilade position.
Okay. Now, I'm asking to ascertain. I think the answer is going to be no, but is this a ambush with the intent to start combat operations, or is this merely scouting? Because that changes what role you make while doing this. Because ambush is its own mechanic and will allow you to basically get a free attack on the enemy to start things off. But if you're just scouting,
I would say that I'm pushing to an ambush position, and the other two are pushing up to scout. Because if it goes loud, I'm in the surprise position to hit them from the side with automatic fire from the M4.
Okay. You guys show me how you want to arrange yourselves here. I assume you can see these gentlemen here?
Yeah, and we're at approximately 100 meters.
That's correct.
So I think it's fair to, like, if we get to 50 meters, we'd start to be able to hear and understand what's going on better.
Sure.
Would that be fair to
That sounds correct.
surmise? All right, so if you guys are going to push up to there, and I'll push to a side position.
Is there a higher dune somewhere along here where we can take cover and observe easier?
Unfortunately, this whole area is nearly completely flat.
Okay.
Moving characters.
There's a nice palm tree here, Mike.
Yeah, I was thinking we move up so we can see them from behind the house.
Well, that's the one.
That way the light of the fire from the house are back. They'll be backlit. They won't be able to see us, hopefully, but we'll be able to see them.
I'm just following you, Mike.
Okay.
Okay, so your group is splitting up and flanking the enemy in a sort of triangular position where your two groups are forming the bottom of a pyramid pointing towards the enemy.
Okay, we're going to...
Just making sure I describe this for the folks at home.
Yeah.
So they know that you guys are swinging wide, but not in a position where you'd be shooting at each other.
Yes.
In a crossfire.
Yeah, we want to put them in the crossfire, not us.
That comes later.
Yeah. That's when things get western.
Okay, let's stop here, pull out the binoculars, and try and have another look. Now we're a bit closer.
I will need a recon roll, and if you would like to translate anything they're saying, because they are speaking French, I will also need a recon roll from anyone who speaks French.
I would say my character probably speaks some French based on the countries he's worked in, but certainly not to a fluent level. So I don't know.
Sounds like a D.
Okay.
Cool.
So, James, this is your recon roll to have Cassandra listen into what they're saying.
Listen. That's right, yeah.
They are not close to each other physically. The woman in the back...
What about emotionally?
It sounds like they're having some problems. Now, I don't speak fluent French, so I'm not going to try. And if my sentence structure in English doesn't sound particularly French, that's on you, audience. So the man who is closest to you, who is waving the gun around, is basically screaming shit over and over again, although he's saying, mad, mad. He seems to be lamenting something. occasionally he squats down and is just looking at the ground. The woman, who is roughly 50 meters away from him, shouts over and says, "We had to do it, okay? We had to do it." And he goes, "Fuck! I know we had to do it. All right, for liberty. God damn it. Why didn't they just evacuate when we told them to? Fuck!" And the woman goes, "Look, the troops are coming up soon. We have to secure the area. If we don't keep people away from the ferry, they might stop what we're doing. We are taking back our homeland for the people. For the people. God, we are even speaking their language. It's disgusting." Okay. That's a pretty good recon roll.
Say that is of
Now that you are closer, and you can see that the man who is closest to you is being kind of lit by the front porch light of the larger luxury beach house. You can see that he has an armband that says FLNCS.
Are these guys European or native?
No, they appear to be indigenous Canardians, and Canardian is the APGamingREAL New Scotland version of the local people of. So they're kind of like a shorter than average height, darker skinned, slightly malnutritioned, deep set eyed man is what you're looking at, of Pacific Island Asian heritage. So he is wearing no body armor, t-shirt and shorts, no sort of dog tags, identifiers, unit markings beyond the armband that says FLNCS. He has got what you identify as being some variation of a Chinese Type 92 9mm pistol. And other than that, just hanging out, looking freaked out. Are there any specific questions you want to ask? Because 3 successes is pretty dang good.
You mentioned before he had blood on him. Is it splashback from having shot people, or is it an injury?
It does specifically look like splashback from having shot somebody at very close range.
Okay, so I'm willing to take a gamble that these are not friendlies. They're probably the nationalists, just from the way they look. The fact they're executing people. They're talking about taking country back from their for themselves.
Presence.
Yeah. The question is, just because they're ultra nationalists doesn't mean they're necessarily our enemies, because we don't know who's taken over.
I mean, it also sounds like they've done what they. It sounds like they've done what they came to do, so they might actually leave if they're not confronted. And they mentioned about more troops coming, but I didn't get the impression that was imminent, or did it seem that there was an imminent urgency and more troops arriving?
It sounds like they're out here. It did sound imminent to you,
Okay.
For sure. I mean, no one wants to go executing people in the middle of the night for no reason.
Whilst I think of another question, is there a role I need to prepare my ambush?
So you are 50 meters away. Let us open our rule books to the chapter on ambushing. The only thing that I can remember that would modify this in some way would be if you wanted to have your whole group ambush their whole group, or if you yourself are ambushing one member of their team.
Yeah, so I'll go with the latter, and I'm aiming at the female back where the bicycles are. So
Okay.
I'm cutting off the retreater.
So if you succeed, you will get the 1 initiative card, ignoring the order of cards I have already secretly drawn for all of you. You are not at close range. You are 50 meters away, which would be 5 hexes, which means you have a +0 to this roll. Terrain between the two of you is open, and it is moonlight. So the enemy has a -2 to their attempt to see you. So you both make recon rolls, and they get a -2. Oh, sorry, you're shooting the one that's in the back, the one that's farther away?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Okay,
140.
that is 140 meters, which means that they have a +2 to avoid this ambush. So that's going to cancel out the moonlight. So you are both straight rolling recon.
Isn't the +2? Doesn't that apply to the person doing the ambush because you're further away, so therefore harder to see?
Let's see here. Pose recon roll modified by relevant terrain, which is the -2, and darkness, which is the +2. You get a modifier to roll depending on how close you get. Okay, yes. So you will get a +2. All right. I'm about to make this roll. My recon isn't the worst. The -2 is bad, though. Well,
After 1.
you know, listen, you don't have to vote. We should be vocalizing our rolls. You don't have to. It should have been a lot better than that. The -2 really hurt, okay? I went from rolling 2 dice to rolling 1d6, which was bad. Okay, Chris. So all you have to do is get any success at all.
Yep. So I'll get a plus. Is it a +1 or +2 for my optical scope?
That's a great question.
Optical scopes.
Fine.
If we have the scope, we can click on it and it'll tell us what it does. Right? Am I crazy?
You got to click on the edit button. If you click on the scope, it'll just put it into chat, which will still see what it does as well.
Yes.
Oh, is it on the weapon?
It gives you a +1 modifier if you aim as a slow action, which does not apply here. This is just the ambush part.
Okay.
So this is just to make sure that you act first.
Okay. I assume, would my binos improve this as a recon roll?
Only for scouting and observing, so no.
Okay, not for ambushing. Right, cool. So straight roll with a +2.
You just need 1 success at all. Yes. Okay. So in the card draw of combat, which is now starting, you begin in position 1. So I am not going to tell everyone. We're playing an alternative version of the rules for redrawing cards each time. I'm not going to tell everyone what your initiative cards are, though the pre-draw for Chris is probably a pretty good one. Since he now has a 1 instead of what he was going to have. You can choose, 2 players can choose to swap initiative cards because you don't know where your card is. It's basically kind of a unknown draw if you want to give it to somebody else.
Well, I'm okay to go last, so I'm happy to swap mine with Mike if we don't know if it's higher or lower.
You don't know if it's higher or lower.
Okay, well then, yeah.
I think we'll just roll with what we've got. There's not really any point.
Yeah, there's nothing tactical there. It's all entirely luck, which is what the draw is anyway. So, yeah.
Well, other than the fact that you know that mine now is likely higher because of what I've done, so you could swap that.
So much higher.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I don't know if we're actually going loud yet, Arthur. It's just that I'm preparing for laid up on her for that ambush.
If you want to, then you will be in the 1 position. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I think we drop them.
Which really will only happen if somebody else does something to trigger me to let off. Like, I'm effectively in Overwatch.
I think we drop them just so we've got the maneuverability to be able to get in, move our stuff without being seen.
Okay, so I guess that the trigger is then that Fulston.
I hear a bunch of suppressed rounds going, 9mm suppressed rounds going, lighting up the closest dude, and then I light up the one at the back.
Okay. Well, you are technically acting first, so maybe Fulston signals you somehow, and you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I can't do the bird whistle, but let's assume there's an Australian bird.
Yeah.
So
you just hear someone go, "Baba booey, Baba booey."
Yeah, somebody just goes like a kookaburra.
They're like, there are no kookaburras on New Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay, so in card position 1, Chris, you're acting first. You are 140 meters away from your target.
Yep.
The target has partial cover because it is on the far side of a beach house from you.
Yep. So I have using the M4. So gear. Oh, please insert a magazine, of course. Do you drag and drop it?
Just click into edit of the gun. There'll be a magazine section and just on the drop down, just select the magazine.
So what's the range of your gun?
4.
4. Okay, so and what you said it was 14 hexes, Arthur?
That is correct.
Okay, so it'll be long range. So long range is a -2 modifier to the attack roll.
Okay.
Could he have taken the aim action before we we got the execute thing? Yeah.
So you aim as a slow action.
Yep.
So you have a +1 to this shot, and then another +1. Oh, sorry, you have the +1 while aiming from your telescopic scope.
Yep.
Yep.
So it becomes
So-
a -1.
Yes, and I believe it's if you don't take the aim action, you suffer a penalty. Not that aim normally does something.
Well, there's a fast aim action. So fast aim is basically cancels out the quick shot penalty. Telescopic sight gives you a base +1 or +2 if you take slow aim.
Okay, so you have a +2 on this roll.
All right. I
Long
get the
range.
heebie-jeebies, and I do a long breathe out, and I hold center of mass. So I'm now at +1.
I am noticing that because of the direction of cover and 120 degrees, this person is not partially covered towards you, based on the way the
Not.
rolls work. So this is
Okay.
a fully free shot.
So +2 then.
I believe partial cover just changes.
Yeah, partial
Oh,
cover just means partial cover.
You
just means
add the
decide
armor
what-
of the partial cover to
Ah.
the bottom of your body.
Yeah.
All right, so +1. All right, 2d10s coming in.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't push this with any ammo, so it's just a single shot?
Yep.
Okay. Single shot. Is that 3 hits to the legs?
3 successes, so the damage will be
Yeah.
damage +3.
What is the damage of this bad boy?
Are you using the M4?
Damage, M4, combat.
I think they're
gear.
damage 2.
So the best way to do it, rather than using the range combat skill, when you attack, click on the
Mm.
weapon, and it will actually add the weapon stats in the chat as well.
Sorry.
Yeah. And also that wouldn't have taken ammo off. You got to go mark the ammo off manually as well.
All right, edit.
So for the folks at home, we're using the Foundry Virtual Tabletop with Free League Publishing's Twilight 2000 4th edition module, which is very nice. If that adds up to more than 5 hits, more than 4 hits, right? Because it's 2 damage plus the 3 hits here.
Yeah, it's gonna be 5 damage.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
drops him instantly. You kill him with a single shot through the.
You also activate the crit because you hit the crit successes too.
That's okay. He's a regular. She is a regular ass person that just died.
Yeah,
I
I just
assume
removed-
femoral artery instantly drop, bleeding out, completely combat ineffective.
So you hear that crack go across.
So, James, the next person to act is the guard who is close to both of you, both your groups. He is going to turn and immediately draw on the now visible. So when you fire a firearm, you are fully exposed for 1 round. For the
Yep.
So he has no darkness penalties or anything like that to fire at you. So he is going to turn with his QZS 92. It's actually an MP40.
So I would have been in the prone position and posted up on that tree probably, which is,
Okay.
I know it doesn't provide much, but it provides something.
I don't know that. I don't know that
Nope.
single tree is going to give you.
I get pretty thin.
Man,
Yeah,
just
okay,
trying
so
to avoid
what is
hitbox.
prone?
You know what he's
I
gonna get
assume
you?
prone position makes it harder
Splinters.
to hit me. Yeah.
So prone while being shot, I believe if they are more than 1 hex away from you, provides a -1. Wait, now I gotta do some quick. So you chose to go prone, which is fine. Foot movement, barriers, stance. Target prone is no, that's close combat. Looking for firing at a prone target is -1. There we go. Okay. Your distance from me is, that's not correct. 80 meters. My range is 2, so I believe that's long range because I'm firing at 4 times my.
Yeah, more than 2, less than 4 is long range. So more than 2, less than 8 is long range.
How do I make this thing recognize I'm shooting at long range?
You just got to put the penalty in, I think.
And the penalty is,
Long range -2.
so I have a -3 total. Great. There we go. And he's blazing away. That is a headshot. Does that count? It says no successes.
No, he missed. He can
I
push.
will definitely push. The weapon jams in the process. In slow motion, he turns with his shitty Chinese knockoff Tokarev, points it exactly at your head, begins pulling the trigger over and over again. And just as the round that would kill you is about to come out, we could see it get stuck in the feed mechanism. He goes, fuck, shit, fuck. Oh no, sorry, it's French. Merde, fuck, merde.
Okay, I immediately also realized that was going to be my fate, and I'm like, fuck, 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 and I'm like rolling over to try and get my weapon back onto him as well.
Okay.
So we're both yelling fuck at each other.
I don't know how many bullets is this. He fired with a +2.
He just ripped off
Yeah,
three ammunition. He just burst.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Weapon jam. You son of a... Incredible that this is my first real roll of the game. Could have been a headshot.
Just for your benefit, Arthur. So
Yeah.
in reading the dice results, so his first result was no hit on the D6, a head hit on the hit dice, and a 1 and a fail on the ammo dice. So because he had a fail on the ammo dice, he knows that if he pushes, he's going to jam. Because
Okay.
if you get a 1 on an ammo dice when the weapon jams, so because he had that on the initial roll, and this is for everybody's benefit, is if you push when you've already got a 1 on the ammo dice, you know you're 100% going to jam from that push.
Yeah.
But I was desperate to get that
you
headshot.
You can still do damage.
Yeah.
You can still hit and do damage.
Yeah, he could have hit him in the head.
I couldn't even
jammed.
I couldn't even get an ammo signal to come up to force him to do suppression.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get the minimum possible to cross the line here. All right, James, you're up next on card 6.
Okay, no worries. All right. Well, I will shoot at that guy from my current position. I'll take a fast action to aim.
Okay.
Well, I got myself there by mistake. It'll be long range as well.
90 meters.
Yep. So, yeah, -1 to the range. My sidearms ability applies here. Do I want to spend more ammo? Yeah, I think I'll just spend one ammo dice on it. Okay, so that is a torso hit for a total of, what's the damage of this weapon? It doesn't say there. I'll just go accept. Damage is damage 1, so a total of 3 damage to the torso.
3 damage. Torso. You hit around the torso several times. Not enough to kill him. Probably something that goes through and through in a non-critical area, maybe like the upper shoulder or somewhere above the liver. And now I'm checking for stress, I believe, because I'm now courage under fire roll.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I have these helpful little journal entries that I probably should have had out here for range combat. Okay. Hit roll. It doesn't include the part about courage. Oh, target rolls courage under fire. Perfect.
He gets a bonus. He gets to use the morale if he can see a living friendly fighter, which he can't.
His living friendly fighter is dead. How'd he do?
He failed.
Not
so
great.
he drops prone, gains 1 point of stress, and loses both actions on his next turn.
This is a really bad time for him.
You know, he's just executed some people, was having a emotional outpouring that his mate's leg got blown off.
Through the surprise attack. All right. Is there anything else Cassandra is doing?
Nope.
Major Fulston. You're back in action again. Called up to the front line. Bullets are flying.
Oh, he loves it.
What are you doing?
Loves to smell a cordite in the morning.
Well, let's just drop this guy and make sure he's out of action for good.
Okay.
So, gonna take a short aim for FAMAS.
Okay.
And then squeeze off a single round into him. No ammo dice.
80 meters.
Yep.
You have a -1 because he's prone.
Yep. And I get a +1 for the optical sight.
That's correct.
So there should be no modifier.
Doesn't look like that's going to do it unless you
Let's just
dig
push.
down deep, give it all you got.
If you push, you take a point of stress of hit
No,
into.
a point of point of reliability on. So you take a point of stress, and I think the gun takes a point of reliability damage.
I think it takes reliability damage if you use ammo dice.
Oh, you roll.
I haven't used any
yeah.
ammo dice, so I'll just take a point of damage.
Point of stress.
Point of stress or a point of damage?
I thought when you push.
I think when you
was it-
push, it's stress, not damage.
I thought when you pushed a physical action, it was damage, and when you pushed a mental action, it was stress.
Oh, you might be, you
right,
could be
yeah.
correct about that, but I think that's
But-
for skill rolls.
It's been a while.
Let's see here. 45 is pushing a roll. Each time you push a roll, you immediately suffer 1 point of damage if you roll for strength or agility, which I believe you did here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you will
be
take a
damage.
point of damage if you push yourself here.
I will push just so we can see what
Very well.
happens.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
As James would say, you drop him on the spot.
So that's, yeah.
He collapses and does not get back up. In the course of several seconds, a violent gunfight breaks out with a series of mostly small number of shots from the three of you and a large number of shots from one of them, resulting in sort of eerie, still silence in the evening. Just gonna shuffle these initiative cards and put them away.
Do that classic 1 banana, 2 banana, 3. Wait for somebody to stick their head out. When they don't, rise and start doing the low crouch tactical movement.
Yeah.
Clear buildings.
This
So
is how
I'll-
we could tell you're a young man. Still has the knees and back for this.
Yeah. Still can do low crouch forward maneuver.
Yeah, whereas the major's low crouch is like a 90-degree shuffle.
All the crouching is from the shoulders up. It's just head
Yeah.
down. And the natural curvature of your spine from years of being crushed.
Okay.
All right,
You
so I'll,
make your way forward. Yeah. You show me where you want to
Yep.
go.
So you guys, I'll push up and hold sentry on the rear building whilst you clear the nearest building. So that'll be the tactical hand signals.
Okay.
Gun pointed at the rear building.
The rear building being the burning one. This one here.
No, this one here. I'm less
Oh,
worried
okay.
about that and more worried about there being someone or something in here trying to get away. So I'll get to here and I'll take a knee. So I can move, but I can,
Do you want me to go around
Bound.
the back of the burning building?
as long as the two of you orchestrate, you guys work it out.
I'll go around
I
the
think
back.
we stack
Yeah.
up. I was gonna say we stack up and clear together rather than. 'Cause-
Okay.
Yeah, I've got vision to there as well. I'm
Yeah.
covering both arcs.
So I assume you're all loudly shouting in British English to each other about how you're
Well,
gonna
we've
do
all
this.
got radios. Do we have lash headsets where we can talk?
I
Ooh.
would
on,
hope
you know-
so.
Interesting. Let's say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Check, make sure they're
I
dead.
would like recon. Oh, yes, of course. You check and make sure they're dead. They're definitely dead.
Okay.
Yeah, and when he says check, what he means is put a round in the face.
Ah.
In the face.
Well, I'd love you to expend a bullet for that, please.
No, I'm happy that they're dead. If they're dead enough, they don't actually have to be dead. They just have to be in a situation where anything they're going to do further on from this point is going to require medicine. So if they want to lay there and bleed and
Their wounds are fatal without immediate medical attention,
Okay.
surgical attention.
grab an armband off of this guy.
Okay.
Just
They look hand sewn, poorly made.
check the gun. Is it Chinese made?
It is. It is a Chinese knockoff of the Tokarev called the MP42.
Is-
9x9mm.
I think I have something here. The main thing I'm checking, is it new?
It is quite new. They didn't. You're in military intelligence from the Australian intelligence services says that this gun only became available earlier this year.
Okay.
Oh no, version 1 always suspect for the reliability.
Okay, so they've been recently armed with Chinese knockoffs. Okay.
I mean, the
Oh, cool.
Tokarev, to be clear, is not a new gun, but this is the newest copy of it.
Well, toss a gun back. Don't need to carry around that
Well,
shit.
or pull pull the clip because the clip it's got 9 mils in it. Although he fired off 3 rounds, so it's only got 6 rounds.
6 rounds because he pushed.
Let's worry about that after you clear that building,
Yeah,
mate.
so yeah, I think police the bodies once we've cleared the room.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's check the building.
I'm borderline about to get on the radio and go, stop fucking around and clear that building.
Yeah, you want a recon roll?
Who is the point man? Yeah, whoever's the point man will be making a recon roll, and you can receive assistance from up to 2 players.
I'll recon. I'll point.
Well, I will assist.
So how does assisting work?
They give you a +1.
So recon roll.
It is on page 46 if you're looking for the full rules. But each person assisting you, since it sounds like you have 2 people covering you, you'll take a +2.
Okay, so recon roll +2. Take it my.
Now, just to be clear, they also suffer the consequences if you roll poorly here.
Okay.
Okay. You swing inside, leading the way, carefully moving to clear a large open floor plan luxury beach house. It seems as if it was occupied recently, and by recently I mean within a week, not within a day. You can see that whoever left it there, this is the pre-Airbnb era, so people have left their garbage in the garbage can. There are still opened
Oh, it's a
90%
timeshare.
drunk bottles of alcohol. You could see that bedding and towels have been left on the floor. You move through each room and all you can see is civilians, Major. All you see is civilian life and their sloppiness. It disgusts you. There are crumbs on this beautiful hand-woven rug that you're walking on as you make your way through this probably $1,000 plus a week, beach house, like a nice beach house.
Clear.
It looks like the kind of place that a group of friends who are also writers would want to go to have a weird cocaine, alcohol-fueled sex party on a beach.
Okay. Head back out once I know it's clear. Sort of hand motion that it's clear. Let's.
Oh, we can sound the radio is clear,
Okay,
so that
clear.
Doc knows.
Moving.
Okay.
So I assume you guys are going to start stacking up.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll check the next building.
moving to side position.
And as you stack up. All right. So you've all heard the cinematic intro briefing Metal Gear Solid style thing that I set up. Do you have any questions for Brigadier Sousa or any of the other subject matter experts? Questions about the mission before we go in?
Well, the simple question is there an exfiltration system in place for if this mission cannot be continued, cannot succeed? Are they going to get us out, and how are they going to get us out?
Success.
If we turn up and there's 7 divisions of Indonesian soldiers there, we cannot stop that. What's going to happen?
Success is the only possible outcome on this mission.
Okay.
You are authorized to take any means necessary to accomplish your primary and secondary objectives.
Any means necessary.
This is why you pay for mercenaries, because when you say any means necessary to mercenaries, it really does mean any means necessary.
Okay.
That's why we're a corporate involvement. Our KPI is a stable Australia-friendly government in New Scotland. Anything less than that is missing our KPI.
Exactly. For the folks at home, that's key performance indicators.
Yeah.
I have a question. So one of the things that they wanted us to find out in the briefing was the status of any redoubtable submarines operating in the area.
Yes, that's your secondary objective.
I assume that's Australian or otherwise.
Operating in the waters around New Caledonia, which will be they're French redoubtable class nuclear submarines.
Oh, okay. I think redoubtable is in like functional. Okay, no worries.
No, it's the class of submarine. It's
so specifically the French submarines. Okay.
Yes, that carry nuclear weapons. Yes.
Okay, no worries.
They're ballistic missile submarines.
So is there our communication pathway back to Australia is, given the current status of communications into and out of Australia, and like the internet kind of exists in this period, but I don't know where you would find it necessarily in New Caledonia at this time period. Is there a communication pathway to be able to pass information
You
to
mean
get
New Scotland, right? Our
New Scotland? Sorry,
slightly alternative version.
slightly, yeah. In New Scotland, yeah, what's the communication pathway to be able to, who are we contacting for if mission parameters change or new information that requires?
So if you can get satellite communications back up, that would be great. No one knows when the satellite network will stabilize. The local radio towers are either being jammed or are emitting the jamming. If you can secure one or more and get longer and longer distance communications back on track, contacting the HMAS Deschanel, which will be remaining off the coast to support your mission in a limited function. You can get new orders and call for any sort of backup that might be authorized through them or through any other Australian military vessels which may be operating in the area as the situation changes.
So we've got, so we need VHF comms then. Sorry, no,
Yes.
HF comms. HF comms, VHF.
You need very long range comms, just to be really
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Just for our civilians out there.
Yeah, high frequency. So can we, so we've got frequencies and a handoff procedure.
Yes. So actually, to contact the Deschanel, you need very low frequencies, but to contact military ships and or the Australian mainland, you would need very high frequency. Yes.
It's kind of not great wording on the part of what, it's not very specific, the primary mission statement of
Yeah.
positive towards New Caledonia. It
Mhm.
it leaves a very wide arc,
It does, doesn't it?
which is kind of why communicating back to Australia when we go like, yeah, knowing how to communicate back to Australia would be important.
Now, look, Chris, I know that you crave specificity here, but I want to point out that on top of everything, while this may be the audience can't see I'm smiling so much. While I may be a master of perfect military etiquette, this is a tabletop role-playing game that literally in the referee's handbook says leave things open-ended for the players to accomplish however they want. So while I could give you specificity, it would be a betrayal of the rules of the game.
Yep. No, fair. That's fair.
It's a hastily thrown together third-party operation with Australia's command and control being what it was in a pre-war state.
Look, I'll tell you right now, officers spend a significant amount of their planning time crafting their one-sentence mission statement. And this is not a mission statement crafted. It's not inspired by the Twilight 2000 mechanics.
I'm sorry. I inappropriately walked this tightrope, but we're gonna go with it.
I'm there for it.
We're gonna side on game mechanics rather than realism on this one.
All I'm hearing over and over again is that one of us is very friendly towards Australia. Dictator for life. One of us right now.
I'm sure the Australian government has given very specific orders to actual military elements to go and secure countries they actually care about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any other questions for your subject matter experts?
Nope.
I don't think so. Actually, yes, I do have one set of questions. There was mention of fascist elements within the native population.
That is correct.
Are there also, what are the factional elements within the native population? Is it just them, or are there other groups as well?
It's not super clear as to what is happening right now. There have been repeated movements of revolution from France, which have been increasingly gaining popularity, but those have all been democratic movements. In the north and northeastern area, which is roughly where you'll be landing, there have been previous National Socialist movements of the local indigenous population, the Canardians, and they have been armed but not violent in the past. You know, they show up, they wave their nationalist flag, they
They
participate in
shoot
elections.
into the air. They
Yeah,
yell.
yeah, I
and-
don't know that
okay.
shoot into the air. Certainly they make videos of shooting into the air, but like never at like a protest or never in front of police.
Okay.
It is still a French colony though, so protesting is a really big thing. Just protesting
they-
a lot in the capital of Nomea.
Did they wear high vis jackets and bring in agricultural equipment?
No,
And
They're
that
not
sounds
real
really
French
specific.
protesters.
So I'm going to say
They're
no.
not real French protesters.
they're not real Frenches, yeah. I put this manure, deposit this manure on this fascists.
Well, they are the
Doorstep.
fascists, so
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. And the police force, what sort of? So I'm guessing there's no real military presence by the French there.
so it's interesting. There is a military airport, and there are 3 military naval vessels which have been identified to you: the Florial, and then 2 escort. What are they called? Patrol vessels.
So they probably have a docks.
They have a major port in Nomea. They also have a posting of NATO troops, but they are French NATO troops. Or sorry, what's the French version of NATO? OTAN. It's backwards, right? I feel like I'm not crazy for saying that. But it's not heavy, you know, it's probably only a company of people at best. And the police force is exactly what you would expect from a French police force in the 1990s, aside to a colonial Pacific outpost. It's mostly people in short-sleeved and khaki short uniforms with a gun that hasn't been fired in their entire career, a slightly round midsection, mostly European white males, and spend most of their time dealing with tourists, sort of police force.
Okay.
No readiness as like a militia in any sense.
Topographically, obviously, it's as we see it today.
Correct.
So it looks like there's the only significant road network is basically around the island with a few arterials going in.
Provincial roads.
Provincial roads, yep.
That's
so,
what RP is. An RPN, Group Provincial National.
Yep. Of which or nearly all truck and 2-wheel drive accessible. But the moment you come off there, you start getting into dirt and 4-wheel drive territory.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume that the majority of movement and goods being moved goods being moved gets done by water or coastal, like near coast shipping because of the quality of the roads.
So New Scotland is mostly self-sufficient agriculturally and doesn't move a lot of goods beyond things like medicine or fuel around. And that is actually mostly done by the road network.
Okay.
That said, it does have a long history of various watercrafts moving people and light industry.
What is the major industry or export out of New England? New Scotland.
Caledonia? Because New England
Scotland.
is way far away.
We landed on the wrong beach, guys.
Oh my god, it's Anzacs all over again.
Somewhere out there, drop bears have become real. It's mining, actually.
So
They
minerals.
export nickel and other various.
Which is
Okay.
Oh,
obviously
wow.
support.
According to this, 96.3% of their exports are mineral products and alloys. Wow. Talk about a hyper specialized industry.
Wow,
96.3%?
Yeah, so 20% of their GDP is the highest is from mining. 15%, the next highest, is payments from France.
Jeez.
Oh my god. Gee whiz.
Followed by tourism.
Now we're just Wikipediaing things, guys. We're really hitting the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah. So I assume that those resources are getting moved by.
I assume that they move them via like large
trucks.
vehicle. Yeah,
probably large trucks, I'm guessing.
Which means the roads have to be of somewhat decent condition.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I've done a few driving tour videos watching people drive around New Scotland. It's New Caledonia, folks at home. I'm just calling it New Scotland because I don't want people from New Caledonia to be like, that's not what our country's like, because I don't know what your country's like exactly.
Was it a Top Gear thing you watched? 'Cause that might be a bit biased.
It's just the road. Listen, there's really only one road. All right, let's be honest. It's the exterior road that follows the outside of the country. It's not bad. Now, the part of the country I'm sending you to, it's bad. It's bad. It's like dirt,
What?
one lane each side. Yeah, it's not good in the northeast part of the country. You could really tell that that's where they stick the native people. Yeah.
Such true to
Okay.
military life. Here's a beautiful place. You're going to the worst part.
Okay. I think we've asked all the questions that
Yep.
I need.
James.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, I do have one last question. Before all this started, was there a particular voice in their parliament that was very pro-independence? A sort of starting point we have for someone who, if they've done a military coup, could potentially be the leader.
There is not someone in Parliament specifically. There is a local businessman on the island by the name of Jacques Chow. He is a Chinese national who's been pouring a lot of money into redeveloping the northern and western parts of the island to sort of luxury gentrification. And Mr. Jacques Chow has a lot of influence in local politics, which he has very obviously paid for, and has made himself a sort of shadow member as a result.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Is there any intel on that?
I was going to say, like, he seems like the sort of person that if there was any sort of attempts to work out whether he was being influenced by the CCP, that would have been recorded somewhere, in the intelligence community, whether he's a pro Chinese nationalist or something.
So there's an asterisk next to his name. Ongoing investigation.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, we believe
Is there
he's
someone
long
there
black
doing
line.
the ongoing investigation, or is this an
Yes, the
ongoing
French.
investigation? Oh, okay.
The French are locally investigating him since he is in France.
Are there any no touch or other friendlies in country, or no go zones?
Probably one of the subject, probably Mr. Jack Oliver slides your contract back over across the table and puts his
points
finger
it.
over
Yeah,
by any means
Yeah.
necessary.
yeah,
Okay.
fair. Had to ask. You know,
Let's talk about end of session and experience. So your character development starts on page 40 for the sort of end of session stuff. Everyone gets 1 XP for being here, which I like, but also I think the GM should be the adjudicator of that. The game just shouldn't say you get 1 XP for showing up. Did anyone follow their moral code despite significant risk to you or your group?
Nah.
I don't think there was anywhere near enough time to develop that. Did anyone risk or sacrifice something significant to realize your big dream?
Nope.
Did you travel through at least 1 hex on the travel map you had not visited before?
Well,
Yes.
this hex, I
Arriving here.
suppose. Yes.
Yeah. So you get another point of XP. Did you overcome 1 or more dangerous events using violent or non-violent means?
I think
Yes.
so, yes.
And did you risk your life for a PC who is your buddy?
Nope.
So you can spend XP, although you need at least 5 to increase the skill, and I don't think anyone got 5. It's just worth hanging on to. No one had to make a coolness under fire roll this time.
Nope.
Let's talk about unit morale. Your unit was in combat and defeated its enemies, which means you have a +1 chance to go up. You traveled at least 1 hex on the map towards your goal, which is a +2. And nothing bad happened to you, so your unit morale will go up.
Okay, so it goes up
Your
to
unit morale is
Now B.
Yes,
Nice.
pretty good.
Hey,
Would anyone like to seek a new dream or find a new buddy?
No, my buddy's fine.
We'll keep the buddies at the moment.
For now, for now.
so I like the fact that he is a proven, like, get shit done fucking officer, which I so rarely get to see. He likes the fact that how young and professional James's character is. So sorry, names.
Cassandra.
Cassandra.
Cassandra is and and then Cassandra likes how proficient and capable I am, because I am not disciplined. Discipline is not one of my highest characteristics.
I think that was it.
It's get shit done.
Okay. So just so that we say it here towards the end. Oh, you had something else?
No. So it's like, if people were happy with that was my mindset on that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a adult podcast discussing mature topics, and it is also an Australian podcast discussing Australian topics. Twilight 2000 is a tabletop role-playing game developed by Free League Publishing about the future of the past, a World War III that never happened. Operation Thunderchild is a black operation by Australian mercenaries to restore order on a French colony in the Pacific, starring GrimDarkJames as Agent Cassandra Liew, LordHunger as Major William Fulston, ChrisAUS as Sergeant Luke William, APGamingREAL as the referee, and PondoTheMad as the editorial intern. Our artist is Connor Hughes from Scout Comics, and I think that will be most of this episode.